All right, Houston, it is time for a real estate market update. Brand new year. We're going to compare how did 2024 do and what does it look like for 2025, comparing it by the numbers exactly on this episode of Ryan in Real Estate. All right, guys, it is time for our annual market report. I get to do this one time a year. We get to look at all the numbers that happened in 2024, all the great numbers, compare those to the year before. What does it look like and how will that compare to what's going to happen this upcoming year? So basically comparing 2023 to 2024, how do we do and where does that land us for the city of Houston? Before I get started, if you have not done so, take a minute, subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment, put on that notification bell. We'd love to get to know you as well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us as well. Also, feel free to check out all of our other videos. We have tons of information, tons of content for you about the Houston real estate market. All right, jumping into it. I'm gonna give you the quick numbers. These are kind of the top four that I normally give each time to give us the best indicators of where the market is going. All right, days on market. If you put a home on the market, how long is it taking to sell in 2024? That is 41. That is up 5%, just 5% from the previous year. So not as bad as actually some months were in 2024, but for the whole year, that's up 5%. How many sales happened in the year of 2023? There were 40,656 sales across the greater Houston area, which is actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but that's only down 1.5% from 2023. So not looking that bad. Average inventory. The average inventory, which means how many homes are on the market at a time, right now is sitting at 13,203 homes sitting on the market. That's actually up 26% of inventory. That's 26% more homes that are on the market right now than there were in 2023. So for buyers, that gives you some great opportunity and some great options. And average sales price. A lot of doom and gloom out there. What's gonna happen? The market's gonna tank, all that stuff. I'm gonna tell you what actually happened. The average sales price right now is $443,492. That puts us up right at 3.8%, meaning the sales price have increased 3.8%. Now, what didn't happen that we thought might happen? And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about that. One is we thought sales were probably gonna get up to about the number of transactions across the country. We're gonna be probably around the 5 million range. Well, it only ended up being about 4.1 million transactions. So that was very underestimated of where it ended up actually being. Part of that is the other thing. We thought there was a strong potential that we would get into the 5% interest rates in 2024. Did not happen. Many experts expected to be in the mid fives. We didn't even really break 6. We came really close in September, but inflationary numbers came out, job reports came out, and all that is factored into where the rates are, which then landed us at now 6.75 and 7.25 of where the average 30-year fixed interest rate would be. You can see my previous video here where I talk about the predictions for 2025. But as far as interest rates are concerned, just to give you a heads up on that video, probably not going to be much different than it was in 2024. We are expecting by the end of 2025 that maybe they're going to drop into the low 6s. But the inflationary data just continues to show that there's a ton of money in the market. And until that changes, the rates are probably going to stay similar to where they're at, probably bouncing in the same arena they were in 2024. If you want to know all about the predictions, you can check out that other video that I mentioned. But just to kind of give you what does this really mean, how does this affect, it really is a pretty balanced market. The great thing is that for homeowners is that sales prices have continued to rise even at 3.8%, which is kind of a normal number of appreciation throughout the year. That also means that homeowners, you still should be able to sell your home for a great price even comparatively to where it was 5 years ago. Inventory being up 26% means that as a buyer, you have lots of options out there for you to look at comparatively to where you even did last year or the year before. So lots more inventory. Home prices are continuing to increase even if that's slower. But all in all, the market is still looking really good. And it unless something big happens, I expect that to happen. I think buyers, what does this mean for you? You're probably gonna lean into the fact that interest rates aren't gonna go dramatically much lower. If you're waiting for them to get into the low 5s or get into 4s, you're probably looking at a couple years before that happens. So if you're thinking about buying, one thing I'd encourage you to do is look up a cost of waiting calculator to see what that could potentially do for you as a buyer, of how much you could actually earn in equity by buying now, even if you might have a little bit higher of a monthly payment because of the interest rate, versus waiting to buy 2-3 years from now when home prices will probably continue to rise, as they have done so for at least the last 10-15 years. For sellers, if you're thinking about moving, the prices are still holding pretty well. Days on market are not too crazy. It's still technically a seller's market, so you're technically in a great market. Spring is always a great time to sell. If you're thinking about selling, feel free to reach out to us. That is the state of the Houston market. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, shoot us a message, shoot us a DM. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on Ryan in Real Estate.